So this is going to be like a collective live reading for more so of aligned collective. So whoever is aligned with this message at this time, um, this is for you. Okay. So yeah, this is for you guys. That are more so just wanting to get clarity about a connection, more so specifically to discern whether like a current connection or a past love connection or interest is like aligned with you in your higher path, your purpose, your healing. Is this someone that is sent to take you off course, off path? Is it a trauma bond? Is it like a karmic energy? um or is it coming from a place of like, someone that is here to truly help you on your journey? So we're going to be tapping into that um because there is so many people that watch, readings and things like that. There might be things that resonate with you versus um you know some things that may not. So just only take what speaks to you, like intuitively, like right? You'll know what resonates with you and what does not. Okay. Hey, hi Kyla. How are you, sis? Snowflower, how are you? Greetings. So you'll know, you know, if it's speaking to you or not. You don't have to force it to, make it make sense or resonate with you. Um, you'll just know, right? If it's for you. It may be some things that you have to sit with, and just kind of meditate. But nonetheless, you should definitely know. Okay, so I wanted, like, I'm almost contemplating whether or not I should share, um, if I should share this dream that I had, because it was like kind of scary in a sense, not like super scary, but it was like I knew there was something about it that was um significant. Like I knew it had some sort of message behind it. And I was like, well, how do I place this? Like, I have to sit with this dream. So it was a weird scene. So the dream that I had, I might have had this dream like maybe a month ago, I want to say. Um, and the dream, it was like at night, it was like an ocean scene. It was really dark, but I knew it was like the ocean or at the beach. And I do not. I wish I did. I mean, I do have some fairy cards. I do, but I'm not using them today. But yeah, it was like this weird dream where people would be called to the water. It was like this, I guess you could say it was siren energy, but it wasn't like siren in that it was like a dark energy, like like an evil spirited energy. And it was in the water. And it was like men and women spirit. So it was like it could be like, let's say like a merman or mermaid, but it didn't really look like a mermaid. Um, it looked like just some type of weird energy, like weird spirit, and it was in the water, and people were in this trance. It was like men and women would be in a trance. It would be like a scene where it would be a woman walking towards like this being was, and then it would be a scene where so I could like tell the people where the water. It was like they were under not like they could start spirit, but to the people that were under this trance, they were more giving me any problems on my bed. Anything that's off topic of what we're talking about, I'm not going to engage with it. Okay. If you guys cannot hear, can't see me or whatever, about something that's like not woo woo, like I, I mystical. I know in a sense of like, oh, it experience it can keep. Um, I'm gonna share this dream that I have. So some people, and so someone to be themselves anymore. They looked like another person, like a realized it was like had this is sometimes um just conscious mind can also represent like the unknown, can with people. It may not make sense as to what we felt we were drawn to certain people, that person or why we and things like that until like once you're deep in it or kind of how I sober up the people that were like to a different and this fan of validation that they seek through love, right? Um, so it's not just about like romantic love. It can also be about how people just sacrifice themselves, like sacrifice their integrity, their morals, their soul, just for the sake that they think will ultimately. It's kind of like the idea of is not aligned with the highest good for you. So this lover is not someone that's based off of true as a true love or a deep intimacy. Connect vampire that's working with a lover. I forgot to share this part, but there was a part where in my dream, these like, I want to say they were sirens, but I don't want to demonize siren energy. But these particular energies, they were using their voices to call these people, like these lovers to them, like these human people as their lovers, calling them to the water towards them, if that makes sense, with their voices. And it was like enchanting. And it was kind of spellbounding to where they were walking towards the water like they were possessed, like they were out of it. They were not in control of their mind or their body. If that makes sense. So these beings can definitely represent like the seductive energy of a low, it's seductive and it's alluring to someone that has low self-worth, or that someone that seeks people pleasing. And we've probably, I'll speak for myself, that people pleasing thing was definitely something that I struggled with throughout my life. It was like a program to you know people please. So that could also be a part of like what those beings were. They can also represent an archetype of a lover that changes you instead of frees you, where there's no true liberation and light energy in the connection. It's very heavy. So the fact that these beings were drawing people towards them in the water, um, definitely could represent like the emotional and spiritual depth. Um, and then kind of being drawn into the water as a means to change you to kind of leech off of your emotional depth or your hearts, you know. Um, this is a being ultimately that's not rooted in truth, but like with fantasy or trauma. And so the message that I was getting from all of this, like the reason why spirit wanted to show this for me is that dreams are one of the ways that God source speaks to me. And gives me messages, maybe even gives me heads up of things to come. And it doesn't always have to be like things such as this. It's kind of, what some would deem as, oh, it's so negative. But it's a heads up. It's like if your guides or your divine beings are not there just to lead you to this whimsical fantasy of everything is okay. There's everyday life situations that can happen, and they have to be there also to warn you, to guide you, to protect you. So if you're not seeing something in your conscious mind or in your waking life, you're not paying attention to the signs of the red flags. Most times they're going to try to get you in a way that they can speak to you when your mind is relaxed. And the dreams for me is one of those ways that my divine team speaks. Um, so I do feel like this dream is a little bit of a collective warning and heads up, also a personal reminder that um for me that I am called to help people wake up from toxic romantic like because sometimes it's like a gift and a curse that I know that my messages are not always going to be well received by people that are in the dark and are comfortable with the illusions that they're in romantically and the love patterns that they're in, because it goes beyond the person that you are entertaining or the person that you're fixated on or the person that you're infatuated with or think you're in love with or that you've been with. It goes deeper than them. It's something within the self. And like that reflection and that turning a mirror onto self is like not an easy concept to sit with. Like, who wants to sit and face truths about themselves that is not pretty or doesn't speak of like this, oh, you're this wonderful being, or we have issues, we have things that we go through. Um, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so sometimes it's like it's like a gift and a curse sometimes to like be that messenger that does shake people up and wake them up out of that, and not everyone's going to be receptive. I understand that. Some may even like demonize it, criticize it, label it as negative or what have you. And I can't speak for everyone, which is why I call this an aligned collective reading. So this is only for those that will align with the message and that they're meant to hear it and receive it, or they're ready to hear it, or they sought it out, whether their soul sought it out or they consciously sought it out. Um, so yeah, but I feel like collectively lust and longing are being weaponized against truth and love. And I spoke about this on my Ghetto Fairy Friday about how these dating coaches speak to, trauma in a sense of like how to gain your power back and how to weaponize your power, your allure, your seductive qualities to attract a person back to you, rather than it being about you attracting what's meant for you by being your authentic self and by you doing the work and healing yourself and loving yourself. But it's like, no, let's turn into a villain. Let's manipulate and like attract the person back. Like maybe that's not the person for you. So why are you trying to attract them back? You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you can't get them by being your true authentic self and it didn't work the first time, you're just playing a game with yourself. You're playing a game to lose. You're not attracting love off of truth and authenticity and true love. You're attracting it off of desperation and a lower vibrational energy. Your energy should be enough to be alluring and attractive to the right people. And if it's not, and you have to manipulate that process, and you're giving your power away still, even though you think you're in power. It's like a wounded kid that's a bully and feels like by being a bully, I'm getting my power back. I'm getting my lick back. That's kind of the energy that it gives me. It's not power. It's not empowerment at all. Um, and many people, like in short, are shape shifting themselves into these false versions of themselves in order to be loved or what they believe is being loved. Because when you're not being your true self, you're not being loved for who you are. You're being loved for the image you put out, and that you're not even really being loved for that. It's like it's an illusion. So it's not real love generating from that. Um, it's not divine love. It's an initiation of illusion or by or through illusionary energy. So with that dream, I feel like it was like showing the undercurrent of like kind of showing the underworld of desire. You know, that desperation, that desire to be in a relationship so bad, or that desire to be with someone so bad. And, you know, when you're led by your lust, when you're led by your insecurities and your wounds and your trauma, the things that you desire from that place, it's easy to get stuck. It's easy to be manipulated. It's easy to get caught. It's like the devil card energy. It's like what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, like the devil card, where they're chained, the lovers are chained to the devil, versus how the lovers card. And I just did a reading for someone today, and I was telling him, like, the situation that you're in, it is a devil card in energy. And it was so dope how they broke it down, because it was like, as they were telling it to me, it opened my eyes like to see the devil card a little bit differently. So like when we're in our lusts, in our passions, things, it almost like the back of our mind knows that it's wrong, but on the surface it looks like it's okay. Everybody else is doing it. This is like how it works. But a part of you is like, this doesn't resonate with me. Something is off. But again, it's being handed to you in a silver platter, to where it's almost like you gaslight yourself, you question yourself, you become double-minded, and that battle is there. So again, when it comes to divine connections, so when it comes to the lovers card, when you look at the lovers, it has a freedom to it, where the lovers just exist in the garden and the angel just watches over them. There's no sense of that control and entrapment in that energy. It's a free flowing, loving energy. It's a choice to show up for love. I choose to devote myself to this. I choose to show up in love. Whereas the devil is like, I feel obligated, or I feel entrapped by my lust, or what I want so bad. That's not a healthy thing. If you can love someone from a place of like, I love you, I see you, I desire you, I want you, but if you're not for me, I can walk away from this. Or if this connection is never something that serves you, or it doesn't serve you any longer, it's not what you want anymore, you're free to go as you please. Like, there's no, you have to be with me and it has to work, you know? At that point, that's the devil card energy. So, you know, this is just a message to say before I get into the reading. I had to share this dream with y'all because I've been sitting on this for a few weeks. I had this dream weeks ago. Um, but this is all to say that okay, sorry about that. My daughter is coming in. So it's all to say to not lose yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't lose yourself in your tide of your emotions. And that's another thing that the guy that I read for today, where he said that he's learning to not allow his emotions to, like, basically I'm paraphrasing, but basically he was saying like to not allow his emotions to dictate his choices so much, but to move with his mind and like not with his heart. And he was saying like when it comes to his relationship with God, to not allow himself to be led by what he feels like God would approve of, and more so be in a state of like connecting with God from a clear place, not an emotional place, not from a place that's like driven by, oh, it has to look a certain way, it has to be like this, but from a place of pure thought, pure guidance. So it's easy to get caught up in that energy of emotion. Not all emotions are meant to be entertained. Not all emotions that you feel is something that is healthy for you. You know what I mean? That's what it comes with emotional intelligence and discernment. That's where that energy comes in. Um, this is also a message to teach you to return back to your original face. If you have lost yourself in love, because we all have, I know I have, you know, I've definitely shape shifted into a person I thought would be desirable or loved by, you know, partners that I wanted to be with or love interests. I've chipped parts of myself away just to get along or just to like be chosen. And that again comes from a place of like you not loving yourself enough to say that I am enough. My true self is deserving of love. and the right person and the right people just in general in life, the opportunities and blessings for me will align as such when I step into who I authentically am, or as I embrace who I authentically am. That is what's going to attract who and what is for me. So this is a message to say, like, the whole thing, you have to really think about it. And I can't see it any other way. I don't know how anyone could argue with this, because I feel like it's just common sense that if you want something that is divine and real, you have to be real. You have to be in tune with yourself. And you have to have a divine mindset that says, I want what is in alignment with me. Yeah, I'm a part of me may want this or think that this is what I want or think that this is the best that I can do. But if it's not in alignment with me and I have to compromise myself, I have to overcompensate or undercompensate myself or whatever the case may be, or allow other people to, like, play in my face just so I can say I'm with them, or wait around and be emotionally, mentally, spiritually, verbally, whatever abused for the sake of so-called love, then is it really love? If you can't be loved as you are, how is it really true love? Your beauty and your attraction, I say this all the time, like the most beautiful women um can feel lonely and can also be cheated on. Same with men, like, very attractive men. They may be some ones that are, kind hearted, but people look at them, oh, he's just this and he's a player, he's a liar, he's a cheater, he's a this and he's a that. So it's not all about looks, like just because you look a certain way, because I feel like women get taught that your beauty, your attraction is what gets you better treatment. Not entirely. It's superficial good treatment. It's not coming from a place of like value. Ultimately, it's like, oh, I'm not even trying to get to know you. I'm not trying to see who you are as a character just because you look the part, you look physically attractive. Oh, I'll do this, I'll buy you that, or I want to show you off. But it's like, well, what about the real person? I'm more than just a physical, you know, palette for your flesh. Like, it's more to a person than that, right? It's deeper than what's inside, right? And so your beauty can get you superficial treatment. True, no one is a person coming here to save you. That will be see you. We're a catalyst, a message, regardless of the order, but they are not else. So when it comes to love, take that out of the equation as well. Because yeah, intercessor, but really make you happier than where you are. If you're not a happy person, a person that's coming in and like bringing in some sunlight, if you're already dark on the inside, you're sad from you, pour back into yourself, or that joy, or that peace, that they can, just as you can be in addition to that, but is not your role or anyone else's role to make your boyfriend be a perfect girlfriend, and that that in comparison to messages that tell you, oh, wait around for the right one, and missing you to take place and happen in your life that is maybe not meant in the cycle, and maybe it will turn into something, but as long as you're I didn't like been there, wrote know people that have been in that of what a person could be or what you visualize them to be. And I said this before, probably as a person that has gifts or an empath, or if you is going to be able to, what as a healer, you'll hold space for people that don't even hold space for themselves. So what happens is you're self-sacrificing, you're keeping yourself in this more so impact person is not period over that they don't always study for them to be so because as to live that and see people do because that's that you're going to be perfect. The way greatest thing ever that I could like bring myself back to center is like, is it worth me compromising my one more thing before I get into the spread, because all of this is like the messages are just a divine experience within itself. It's not just about the cards. I'm not a traditional messenger. So cards are a part of the message. Um, so I just kind of want to like break down, and this is from my perspective, in a way that I feel like is practical, where it's hard to like make sense of it or discern it. Um, so I just want to look into like the signs of a divine connection, the kind that is rooted in truth, growth, balance, and like your soul purpose on both sides, right? Because it's not just about you, right? It's about the other person. It's a divine connection. So, um, yeah, so this could be like, as far as romantic connections, most definitely that's what we're talking about, but platonic as well, even like spiritual partnerships, people that you'll link up with that will help you along your journey and vice versa. Um, so yeah, it will feel like alignment rather than confusion. That's number one. If it's a lot of confusion and this person is just like playing mind games with you, they're inconsistent with their energy, inconsistent with their words, inconsistent with their actions. That is how you know. Like, because it's like, how can you, if you think about it from a friendship standpoint, how can you build a friendship with someone that's inconsistent, someone that's two-faced, someone that one minute says one thing and does another, or is like wasting your time and your energy? So because we have more lenience towards partners, romantic partners, than we do friendships and family. But if you really look at it just from a platonic standpoint, you wouldn't really want to deal with a friend that is very flaky, unreliable, um, doesn't mean what they say, or one minute they're showing you or telling you something, and then the next minute they're doing the other, or they're being two-faced, backstabbing, being deceptive. So same thing with a romantic partner. If a person is coming in your life bringing about chaos and confusion and not straightforward and sticking to their word, they're very flaky, they're unreliable, that is a number one sign that that is not a relationship for you, because this person, they may not be malicious in their intent, and they may not be like a demonic force or some shit like that, but their character does not align with yours. Their character does not align with the stability that at least that you say that you want. Because when you're saying you want a divine partner and this and this and that, um yeah, that, I mean, that's heavy, right? That's a presence that cannot be mistaken. So you're talking about a divine energy, divine connection. Games and bullshit like that and confusion, that is not a divine energy. So there's peace in the presence of a divine connection. Your nervous system is relaxed around them. Even when things aren't perfect, they still feel safe. You still feel safe and seen and spiritually anchored, connected, grounded. It's not always like this dramatic scene. It's more so calm. It's more of like a consistent energy. Again, a grounded energy, something that's deeply grounded. And I say this sometimes too, like it can come off as boring sometimes. Yes, because or it just feels a little scary. Like it's like you will look at it like there's something wrong. This is a red flag. When the things that are actually red flags should be looked at as red flags. So when you have those moments where it's very hard for you to accept real, genuine connectedness, kindness, patience, calm, and there's no drama. There's not a lot of ups and downs, in and out energies. And it's a red flag to you in a sense of like, this is too good to be true, or this is boring. And that shows either where you're at within your healing, or you're still processing acceptance of good energy, because if you've been used to connections that are chaotic, imbalanced, you know, non-reciprocal connections. So anything opposite of that is going to feel strange. Number two, like it's an alignment, not just an attraction energy. So there's chemistry, but it's not chaotic. So you guys will have like shared values, or you'll value what the other person values, you respect it. It's very intentional. Your growth, as far as your paths, they're aligned. They're aligned even as you're growing, even as you're transitioning, growing things, want to support each other, or it's like you guys something more meaningful. Number one person is the healer. One person is the healer, and the other. It's not going to be that type of energy, or where the person is um, you know, they're not where you want them to be, and they're forcing themselves to do better or change or to grow because you want them to, or vice versa. It's not going to be any of that. Fact, with that grace, but not guilt. It's like where you're off path and off center, or when you're doing something that's like a chastisement, like a bully energy or condescension. Is it still choppy? I don't ever have these problems. it's, it's weird. Okay. Hopefully not. Let me know if it continues to get choppy, because yeah, it's a given. I don't want to blame it all on interference, but usually like when I'm getting into like topics that are not like keeping people sleep and comfortable and bullshit and delusion, my shit gets fucked with. It just happens. Because I haven't had no issues with my Wi-Fi, so it's just interesting. As of right now, it's acting crazy. But yeah. So number four, the connection brings clarity and not confusion. So it's not this constant asking, like, what are we, or why do I feel drained, or what is this? Why are they doing this? When are they going to come back? It's like, if it's this inconsistency, that is not your person. And the twin flame bullshit stuff, like the whole signs and stuff like that, I feel like has done a number on people, because it's keeping, like, it's kept people, I feel like, stuck in situations, because it's like, well, I can justify the fact that this person is in and out of my life because I can say, oh, this is a runner chaser situation. I can justify that, because this thing is divine, right? This is my other half of my soul. If they're running from me because they're so scared, like, how long is a motherfucker gonna keep scared? It's one person, and push it. But those that are emotionally unavailable themselves are drawn to that concept because it keeps you. It's almost like it's not quite there. It's like it's something that it's almost like a situationship, but a spiritual situationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they can say like, "Oh, we're not together." This is crazy. This is some bullshit. So crazy. This is like really crazy. So much interference. I've never had any issues with my Wi-Fi, and it's just acting really crazy, really wonky. Can you guys hear me now? Because this is crazy for real. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay, you can. Okay, good. Like trying to fuck with my shit for real. Crazy. But yeah, that energy of like the twin flame journey, like for those that have not surpassed the whole being stuck and fixated on the person when they're going to come together, your emotional unavailability is comfortable in that because it's like a spiritual situationship. You don't have to really, you can define it and say, oh, it's this, but we're not together yet and they're getting it together. And like, no. Mm-mm. But like with the connection that brings like clarity and not confusion, your intuition is calm. It's not constantly in a conflict. Mind you, when you're navigating through, never have been in a relationship that is consistent and that is safe, a safe space for you, you're going to have those inner conflicts naturally because you're working through, like you're healing through those energies, if that makes sense. So the person's actions, they will align with their words, spiritually and emotionally. Like who they say they are is who they say they are, and their energy will speak for itself. It's like some people, if you just give enough time to a person's energy, they'll show you who they want you to see. But naturally, if you really are discerning, if you really peep game and like understand energies and things like that, you'll be able to see a person. They'll start showing you who they really are. Sometimes you'll know upon meeting them, regardless of whatever face they're showing you, what type of person they are. You can read through that. I mean, at least for those that have the eyes to like see energies and people and like feel into what you're getting, because oftentimes people will show you who they are. This is a person that is consistent, not just within their actions, but their spiritual being, like their self. You'll be able to like, oh, that person's a solid individual. This person is a reliable individual. This is someone that's an inspiring person. They're a positive person. This is someone that is loving, but maybe they give too much of themselves. Or this is someone that is a taker. They're a manipulator. You can read into that. So this person is going to be like, their actions are going to match exactly who they say that they are, and they're going to show that just through their being, their character. Number 5, spirit confirms but doesn't force you. So like you'll feel those divine nudges, those synchronicities or confirmations, but it's not a spiritual pressure. Like, oh, what does this mean? Does it mean this? Does it mean that? It's kind of like you know that it's something and you trust it, or you just flow. You may not know exactly what is being conveyed, but you know there's a higher purpose or reason behind it, and you just flow with it. Um, so yeah, you'll have those divine like nudges and things like that. You'll also maybe get like dreams, signs and messages that that affirm the energy, but you're still free to choose. You're free to choose like what you say yes to. Again, it's giving that lovers card energy where the two partners in the partners within the lovers card, they're not chained or bound to anything. They're free within that garden. They're still governed by the divine. They have an angelic being that is watching over and protecting them. So it's like you have that free will. Um you're able to choose, and you have that support like from the divine with your connection. It's not a manipulation for you to stay in something. I feel like the concept of people coming together for a season where they're meant to be together for that season, and they're not bad to each other, but there might be times where their assignment is done and they've outgrown each other. And it's hard for people to fathom that, like, God told me that we were supposed to be together. And then you do end up together and then it doesn't work. It kind of is like, well, was that a lie? No, maybe not necessarily at all. Like, what if it was meant to happen at that time? You guys were meant to be together. Maybe you were meant to get married and your assignment is done and it's time for you to move on. That could be some divine connections as far as like a divine union, like with your one soul, your the person that that's for you, right? There's still this freedom in that. You might make the vow to be together for life, but it's a freedom, it's a choice. It's not like you're being muscled into it or they're being muscled into that decision or that choice. It's just what feels natural. It's just what feels aligned, you know? So yeah. And then number 6, you stay connected to yourself. This is one of the most important parts of this shit, girl. It's one of the most important parts of this is that you don't feel the need to shapeshift or shrink yourself with the right person. And I'm also speaking of like true connections with people like soul tribe, like true fam. They don't have to be blood family, but your soul tribe, family, friends, um, opportunities for you. You do not have to shapeshift or shrink yourself. That's how you know it's not for you. When you have to perform and be someone you're not just to get by or to get along or to be applauded and loved or approved of, that's not real. So with the right people, you don't have to do none of that. You yourself is what's loved and adored. And even where people can hold spaces for the parts of yourself that you're just learning to love and appreciate, or the parts of yourself that you might still be working with, or parts of yourself that you might feel shame, where people can hold space for those parts of you. You know what I mean? Where you're seen by the people that truly love you. So you don't have to shrink yourself. They're guaranteed. And I know this for a fact to be true, that there are people that will love you unconditionally as you are. Not saying that they will be okay with you being in your mess, or that, they're not going to be there to shed a light upon those things because they care about you and love you, but they hold space for all parts of you. You're able to express your truth, your boundaries, and your needs freely. There's no disrespect of that. Like, if you don't drink or you don't smoke, or you're not, you know, whatever your standards are, whatever your boundaries are, or, I need a week to myself to, unpack, or just to rest, to be with myself. It's not going to be a problem for the people that matter to you. They'll respect you. They're not going to pressure you into being, oh, you're so lame. Oh, you're so this, or you're selfish. You know, there's not going to be any of that with the right people. The connection also inspires you to be more authentically yourself, not a performative love. So again, it's going to inspire you to unmask yourself more and to like liberate yourself into embracing all parts of you. They might even call out the beautiful things in yourself that you don't accept sometimes. Like, to be that person, like, oh, I just love, you're so funny. And you're like, no, the fuck, I'm not. Like, I'm not that funny. Or you're so intelligent. I love the way your mind works. I love like your insights on things. You might be like, I'm not that smart. It's like, but it helps you to see yourself, embrace yourself. I'm like, okay, maybe, that's that is a healthy relationship, not one that's telling you you're not enough, you're not good enough, whether it's out of their mouth or whether it's with their actions that make you feel small, or they compare you to other people, or why can't you just be more like this, and oh, you so this, you're not enough of that. Like, that's not your people. Okay. Number 7, you can be in shadow and in light together. So again, they don't disappear when you have a rough season, where maybe you show a part of yourself that is vulnerable. So there's compassion for your triggers. There's compassion, excuse me, for your wounds and your healing process, and vice versa. There's no shame and guilt. There's no exploitation of your wounds and your trauma, or manipulation of your trauma or your wounds or your vulnerability, or throwing it back in your face. Like, there's none of that there. There's no hidden agendas. Like, you're safe to take the armor off, or to take the mask off. You're safe to be naked. And like, if you, again, going back to the devil card versus the lovers card thing, like, both characters in the lovers and the devil card, they're like fully, bare. They don't have any clothes on. But the difference is that in that vulnerability state, there's a chain that binds those two people to the devil. So it's almost like soon as you're trauma bonding, you're naked, you're showing yourselves, but it's almost like we're bound by those things. We're not liberated by it. We're not healed. We're not working through it. We're chained. We're stuck in it. This person keeps me stuck in those patterns and those traumas rather than us liberating ourselves out of it. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference. Um, your shadows are met with awareness and not abandonment. So again, it's like an acknowledgement of that, a compassion, a holding of a space of that, or there's resolution and solution to free or to work through those things. It will never be like as a couple, let's say for instance, like a couple that um maybe working through things before they get married, right? They got to go to counseling or they're already married and they know that they still have inner issues within themselves, or there's things that could be conflicting to the connection because of the person's inner state with themselves, right? A partner or two people that agree to say, let's go to therapy because we want to fix what's going on. We want to get to the root of it. I want to see like what are the blockages within me that's blocking our union, our connection. Let's go, let's do that. Let's have therapy, let's have counseling sessions or whatever. That type of energy. It's or let's talk it out. Let's have our own personal sessions, weekly together. Let's talk, let's do this, or let's talk it out right here, right now. That type of loving energy, not one where let's just fuck it out. Let's just go have sex, or let's just argue and then the next minute, oh baby, you want something to eat, or like those trauma things, or oh, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. I don't want them to leave. I don't want them to feel some type of way. Like no, those are trauma bonds, solutions that are not really solutions. You know. Number 8, the timing feels divine, even if it's so-called delayed. So let's say you meet or you reconnect when you guys are ready or being prepared. There might be separations that feel purposeful. Like you understand, like, okay, I'm in this space. I need to focus on school or I need to focus on whatever, and they need to focus on whatever they need to focus on. Or I feel like I'm just not in the open-hearted space for us to connect right now. There's a peace that comes with that rather than being like, oh my God, are they coming back? What's happening? Oh, let me try to figure out a way to like merge us back together and do this and do that in desperation. When it's a divine timed connection, you're not tripping, you're not stressing, you're not frantic, you're not anxious, you're not obsessing over the timeline of things, or if there needs to be a period of separation, if that's what's needed. Because think about it like this: two best friends that only see each other every other season, but when it's time to like get together or talk, or if it's like a Christmas holiday or someone's birthday and you guys hit each other up, so there's no animosity. It's like no time ever left. It's just a respect of space and life. So when it's that, because I feel like the twin flame thing also speaks about separation, but a lot of people get so obsessed with that period. They don't know how to exist in it. It triggers the abandonment wounds. And if it does, that is a perfect time for you to work through that shit. Perfect time. That's the thing about divine connections. They're not meant to make you feel comfortable in your bullshit. That's not going to happen. Whereas like a toxic bond, it's like you're comfortable and complacent in something that ultimately is not good for you, but it doesn't call you out of your bullshit. It doesn't make you have to take accountability. So as long as you can keep getting questions about, oh, how do they feel about me? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you how they feel about you, but what is that going to do for you? What is it trigger? If it's triggering something in you, if so, good, work on that, because that's what it's revealing to you. With the divine connection, it's not going to make you comfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable in your bullshit. It's going to shed a light. So there's no feeling of you guys are being rushed. It's a feeling more so of that we're being guided, you know, that divine timing thing. We're not being rushed, we're not being pressured, but we're being guided. Number 9, the connection feels bigger than just the two of you. So I always talk about this a lot too. And when I get into the divine connections, divine unions, that it is not just like about you two being in this romantic, blissful state. Like it's greater than that. Your union serves as a purpose. So your purpose, it can vary. Purpose does not always have to look like you being on the arms of this high authoritative public figure man and this rich guy or being famous. Like that does not always equate to a soul purpose union. You know what I mean? Soul purpose union can be things within your community or within your home, within your family, within your circles, the people that you're around, the people that you touch, the strangers that you talk to. Like your own soul purpose alone as a solo person, as well as it being an extension of your person's personal soul purpose and your union soul purpose together. So your union, it will serve that purpose, whether it's creating something, whether it's healing like your lineage, whether it's healing the lineage's wounds, and just being a model of what divine love looks like. And divine love is not just exclusive to romantic love. Does that make sense? Divine love means like a godly love, a higher source love, you know? There's a mission or a medicine to your connection. So together you guys you're meant to raise the vibration of the spaces that you enter. That's one of the biggest parts of that. Your union is a reflection of divinity. It's not about like, oh, look at us and oh, we're together or we're in this romantic union and like it's bigger than that shit in ways that maybe you won't even see initially. It might not be something that's apparent or takes effect in your mind physically or where you see the fruits of your labor until years later or when you're not here. It could be ways that people don't speak of that you've helped them, that you've healed your union by you being together can correct certain things in your bloodline. Like it's deep shit. um Love feels free and not forced. I already talked about that. Number 10, there's a room to breathe and evolve, rest, and to grow. You're not addicted to the feeling that you're at peace. You're at peace with the presence. You're not addicted to a feeling. You're not chasing a high with the connection. It's a feeling of peace and ease within the presence of the connection. um, and you choose this person again and they'll choose you again and again, and not from a place of fear and obligation or control, but because it's a deep soulful knowing, like this person is, they are aligned with me in a way like I would choose this person over. And it's hard to conceive that when you struggle with like your self-worth in certain areas where it's like, how can someone love me so deeply or unconditionally? How can someone love me like that? Why would someone choose me when there's so many other people in the world, so many amazing, intelligent, smart, beautiful women or handsome men in the world? Why would this person choose me? And it's deeper. It's because the soul chooses. The soul understands it in a way that you do not, you know? Um, so yeah, like you might see certain, beautiful signs and synchronicities and things like that that will give you that heads up. Um, I did not know this was gonna be so long. I didn't even get into like the karmic energy, but I'm gonna do that. Because the sound and stuff, my connection's been lagging, so it's like fucking with everything and had to keep being interrupted. But like this video so far, if it's resonating with you, we're gonna get into the karmic energies. I just need to run to the restroom real quick, so I'm gonna put everyone on pause. Okay. But yeah, if this is resonating, like show some love, share it, because we're going to get into the reading, yes, but I feel like this part of it needs to be expressed, um, needs to be shared, needs to be dived into, needs to be called out, needs to, you know what I mean, be reflected upon. So whenever I'm giving a message, I pray to God that it's not just you sitting here waiting for some sort of message of validating your thoughts and or just seeking a prophecy or prediction, but more so from a place of like taking these messages from a place of inner reflecting and like do something with the messages that's going to be healing and transformative for you and hopefully break free out of something, not just like, oh, I'm just watching this shit for entertainment. You feel me? Like, I hope that makes sense. um yeah, give me 1 second, I'll be right back, y'all. Okay. All right. So I am back. All right. So let's get into the karmic energy first before we get into the reading. Let's get this list out the way, child. Okay. So we're gonna break down the spiritual and psychological signs of like seduction and deception within love dynamics. Okay. Now I'm afraid that it might call some of y'all out as like some of the shit that you be on, that you be doing, and this is not to shame anyone, but it's like to just like call it out as a means to like self-reflect and to hopefully like break free out of that energy, whatever side you fall on, whatever side of the coin you're on. So these patterns can be very subtle sometimes, but very intense and masked as like a romantic or soulmate type of energy, which is why they're so easily for people to fall into, especially like if you're a spiritually gifted person and an empathic person, like I kind of mentioned earlier, like being able to see the potential in someone. So, number one, okay, it's very intense instead of like a instead of an emotional or spiritual intimacy, it's more of this intensity. So the connection will feel like a rush, like it's very sudden, it's magnetic, it's very addictive, right? But there's little to like true vulnerability or safety in those type of connections. The obsession really like takes govern over just being present. Like you're not able to exist and be present within the connection where you can go, oh, I can go a day without talking to this person and not wonder what's going on or why aren't they talking to me. It's like, oh, we'll talk. We'll like when it's meant, like when we're able to, when we get free. And I'm not talking about like from a place of if this person told you they're gonna call you back and they didn't call you back and now you're waiting for the call the next day. It's not that type of thing. It's more so just like a natural, just okay, we'll just flow. Just like what I said with the friends that you don't talk to all the time or you don't see every day. But when you do, it's like no time ever left. There's no animosity or any type of like bad feelings or ill will, you know? So number two, they will mirror you a little too perfectly. So you'll feel seen, but then like you'll start to realize that they may just be like projecting back what you want to see. Like if they studied you enough or they already know the vibe of like the type of person that you are, they'll like kind of carry that energy to kind of get you hooked. You know what I'm saying? Um, because they might be studying you, like I said, like they might mirror your interests or even your wounds and say all the right things as a form to like bond with you, you know? It will feel like a soulmate energy, but it's built on a performance, not an actual depth of building. Cause like people, I feel like when we get into like our desires and our egos, like it's very easy to rush or be addicted to the rush, like something that's happening fast. To cultivate a connection over time, I feel like is not something that people have the patience for nowadays, especially if you got to have everything here now and fast. Like it's hard for people to be present and like build a genuine connection to see if you really even genuinely like that person, allow them to show you who they are, allow yourself to, show up as yourself and allow them to see who you are. Um yeah. So like if you're performing, if this person's performing, they're putting on a face or they're trying to be what they think that you want just to bond with you or to be manipulative and you're trying to, show up as a certain person that you think is desirable or what you were taught you should be, or this is how women or men should be and act, this is what's desirable. Um or you're just trying to like water down yourself, not tell the truth of what you really want, what's your true intentions, that you want a real relationship, or, you're compromising parts of yourself. Again, it's not a real soul bond. It's built off of performance. So number three, they'll use a lot of spiritual language and lingo and like trigger words such as like, oh, you're my soulmate or divine, divine partner, twin flame. We're spiritually connected, star-crossed lovers, oh, past lives. Like they'll use these things and it's very gripping. And they'll use this stuff to like maybe excuse the mistreatment, their ghosting, or their inconsistency too. Like that's a big red flag. it's bad enough that people that are being abused within these connections use these terms for an excuse for the people's behavior towards them, the mistreatment that they're receiving. But like for a person to be like, oh, it's just my trauma. And I hate the zodiac blame game too. Like, oh, it's because I'm a Scorpio rising that I did this to you type shit. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. It's horrible. Anyway, they may claim God or like the divine brought you two together, but their actions just don't match with that. Like they don't treat you like if they see you as like your divine, like their divine partner, why are they treating you like some hoe on the street, like just or some person that they can't stand? You value, like if you want to say like you truly believe in that divine connection, why are you treating somebody like shit if you really believe that that's who they are? So you got to question that. Like you're calling me like your wifey or your hubby or your soulmate or the one, but you're treating me like the next person off the street or somebody that you don't even like. So that's a red flag. So you have to be discerning of like those trigger words. Same way like family will try to bait you and manipulate you. Oh, it's because I'm your mother. Like, no, bitch, just because you're my mother, okay, you might have like pushed me out, but that don't mean that you get to treat me however you want to treat me. Okay. It's kind of similar to that. If you're calling me this and that, you're putting these terms and labels. Do you really uphold that? Do you really see me as such? Because if something that is divine, you're going to treat it with reverence and respect. So if you're not treating me with the reverence and the respect of something that you claim is divine or a soul type of energy, then you just lying out your teeth or you don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, do you even understand what divine means? Like, if someone's not treating you that way, then it's one or two things. They don't understand it or they don't really like respect you like that. So neither one is good. Number 4, your intuition is very loud about things, like it's a siren going off, but you just silence it. So like you'll feel this anxiousness, you'll feel confused, you'll feel drained, but you'll ignore it because the chemistry is so strong, or that attachment that you built to this person, or the attachment or the idea of the person that you built is so strong and so like gripping, to your heart, to your desires. So you gaslight yourself into believing you're just healing or you're being tested. Like, oh, I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm being too hard on this person. This is just a test. Like, no, no. Number 5, isolation or emotional control. So they'll subtly pull you away from like your family, your friends, like, or off your own path. This is very important. This part right here, child, the people that they're separating you from. It's one thing to like separate you from just being social. But if they don't like certain people that are actually good for you and they always like try to buzz in your ear about somebody specifically, you got to wonder about that. Oh, I don't think that's really your friend. And then you're like, this person doesn't give me any type of weird vibes. This person's actually been really there for me. There's no indications of a faulty character in a person, but they don't like that person for you. They're trying to separate you from somebody that possibly can see through them or doesn't like them because they know that there's something off about that person that you're with, right? Or entertaining. Another thing that's really important to like pay attention to when you're dealing with counterfeits is that they take you off path, off purpose. You'll get so engulfed in this connection in this person that you don't have time to focus on the things that matter. It takes you away from the things that you've been working towards, or your goals, your ambitions, your visions, or your purpose, or your calling, or you start to feel depressed, like you feel like you don't have a purpose anymore. You don't know who you want to be anymore. You don't recognize yourself. That is a number one, if not like the biggest sign out of all of the things that I've said. That is one of the number one signs that you are not with the right person. You are with a motherfucking counterfeit, posing as the real deal. And that's even more dangerous than someone that's just not on your vibe, not someone that is compatible with you. This is more like deeper than that. Um, yeah. They'll require like emotional loyalty without giving you the same treatment. So again, it's like they'll use certain trigger words against you to keep you stuck and make you feel like you're important. And they require that loyalty out of you and for you to stay and put up with shit that they probably would never put up with. Never. You know? Um, you stop expressing your needs or your boundaries to avoid rocking the boat or pushing them away, quote unquote, or causing them to run or causing them to look at you as like a problematic person and things like that. That's another thing. When you start compromising your own feelings and your emotions. Because with the right person, again, it's a safe space. You can share yourself with somebody, you know? Um, Number 6, love bombing, followed by the withdrawal. So like this is another thing too that's common in certain dating situations. So I feel like this can be like a universal thing, not just like karmic partner energy, but like a person that's just a fucking mess, you know? Someone that like makes you feel very overwhelmed by their affections, their compliments, their promises, like their gifts, like they're doing all the right stuff, but it's like it's too much. It's excessive too soon, right? And then after that, once most likely after like you give them some, you give them some, you know what? There's a sudden distance and coldness from this person, and it's almost like a punishment. Like they'll love bomb you, and I've gone through this in different ways. There's different levels to this that I've gone through, and I don't know if y'all have been through like the different levels. So, like for example, one of the levels again is like the most common way that some men will go about it with women specifically is like love bomb them until they get have sex with them. Then it's like they start acting funny, right? They get what they want. They seem to be all into you, and then they're and you might even think, oh well, the sex was good, this person is hooked. No, that's all they wanted. They don't need to come back for seconds, or they'll just place you in that that category. I'll come back to this when I want some type of thing, right? Then there's a love bombing of like they'll shower you with attention, text messages, calls, liking your posts, and then like when it comes to following up with something concrete, they're nowhere to be found. They just completely ghost you. They don't talk to you. Um, it's just like some funny shit. Like they'll do certain things that let you know that they've seen your message or that um, they know that they missed a phone call or they know that you guys have plans or something. It's like that type of stuff too. So this energy creates those trauma bonds and those emotional addictions. So it's like it's feeding you too much too soon. So once it's stripped, you're starved and you're like, well, where's my fix? You know what I mean? Like, so you start craving that attention. You start craving their presence, and you think it's them. You think it's, oh, I miss them. I want to see them. But it's really your like the chemicals in your body is missing that dosage that they gave you. It's like if you go to a hospital or something, they're going to give you something in small doses to kind of see how your body responds and reacts to it. If it's something that's too much for you, they'll check on you. They're not going to just give you a full dose and like, here you go. And you just be in there like doped up or like have an allergic reaction or some shit. Like, so with love bombing does is it is that chemical, like over, like an overdose, an OD on that shit. So when you don't get it, you're itching and scratching like, ugh, like you don't miss them. You don't. Sometimes the sex, you don't even miss that. The sex wasn't even that good. It's a program in your mind. Like you're thinking that you've hyped this bond up in your head, especially if you're a woman, because women carry the emotions more. Like when you're interacting with sex, it's an emotional, spiritual thing for you. Even in your mind, if you're thinking, oh, I just want the D or I just want the whatever, like, you like the kitty cat, whatever you into. But I'm talking about like masculine energy, phallic energy, because there's an exchange with that happens with that. So like when you're in your mind, you've been loved bombed so much by this person, and you're building a false connection with them, but in your mind you feel like it's a bond, and then you have sex with them. You're adding that element of that illusion into it, so that makes the attachment even more stronger. So when they pull back from you, you're craving them, but you're not craving them. You're craving the that dopamine. You're craving that illusion, that deception of that bond that's not really even real. That's not even there. It's not even there. Don't even exist. Um, yeah, so that's a dangerous motherfucking thing. So number 7, you feel spiritually or psychically drained after your interactions with this person, and definitely sex comes into the equation. I'm already jump skipping ahead, but sex definitely is in the equation. So your energy drops around them. You blame yourself a lot. You think it's you. You might have a lot of sleepless nights. You might have nightmares, fatigue. You don't want to eat. You don't want to drink. You don't want to do anything. Like if you don't hear from this person, it's like you don't want to talk to anybody else. Y'all know that. I know some of y'all know this feeling. where you're waiting for somebody to reach out to you and like you get upset at the fact that somebody texts you that's not them. It's like, oh fuck, why are you calling? Why are you texting? Because you get excited. Like you're itching for that fix. So like when you don't get it, you get very frustrated. You don't want to eat. You don't want to do anything. You're very irritable. You snappy. You might have a lot of mental fog. Your relationship with spirit is not there oftentimes. Like you lose that connection sometimes. Anytime you're going to source, God, or your ancestors, and whatever your divine connectivity is about the person, and it's not about your relationship with source or about other things going on in your life, um that is how you know like you're spiritually like out of alignment at that point. This connection's taking you off center. You'll have anxiety after sex or like deep conversations. You don't feel safe after, even if this person's telling you, oh yeah baby, you the one, I want to be with you. You're still not settled in that. It doesn't sit well in your spirit. It's like something's not right. And it could be because of their past track record. They're not consistent. So it's like a part of you knows that that's not true. Like this person is not telling me the truth. They're just lying to me. This can also like all these signs can be an indication of an energetic vampire and like this soul entanglement or what we call soul ties. Okay. Number 8, false healing archetype. So they present themselves as a healer or someone here to help you evolve, but you're the one that's constantly sacrificing, showing up for them, transforming them, helping them learn lessons, things like that. It's like they're getting more from your spiritual energy, your ashe, your spiritual wisdom and guidance and your presence more than you get from them. And that's not a fair exchange. It's also like like this superiority, I can't even say the word, spiritual superiority complex, like masking as control, and avoidance of their own shadow. So like naturally people that are healers and empaths, they have that martyr energy to where they want to save everybody, and they don't know how to save themselves sometimes because they're so used to showing up for everyone else that they almost feel like it's selfish to save themselves. But with like a person that uses their spiritual authority or a mask of having a spiritual authority, it comes from a place of like being able to control and manipulate. I had a friend or a so-called friend like this that cloaked their concern or them telling me things as a means to like help me, but it was like to almost come off as like a superior to me and like telling me shit like, bitch, don't talk to me like you know more than me or that you know more of a subject. Like you don't know what I know. You don't know what I've experienced. It's almost like, oh, because I'm older than you or because of this or that or what you think about me, that you have this security over me. And then it would be low key like condescending, low key bullying. Like their tone was like very bullying. They would mask like, I'm just trying to help you. It's giving that. It's that type of energy. And it's not like a real reflection of them like seeing themselves. I'm like, bitch, you talk a good game, but you're a really toxic motherfucker. Like, I appreciate like helping me to some extent, but like it's just like funny to me. And it's like to manipulate you into to believing that you need saving and they're here to help you so bad. And it's like when you look at like how they treat you and how they treat themselves, it's like the math ain't math. And so are you just doing this so that you feel good about the fucked up person that you are? And like by making me feel smaller or lesser than. And that's what it gives, with those toxic bonds. So number 9, seduction through wounded desire. It's a very tricky. This is the one. This is the one right here. They tap into your unmet needs by like making you feel chosen, by you feeling saved by them, by you feeling seen by them. And that's why I stress so much. And y'all think I'm just like being this preachy bitch. But listen, hear me out. Self love is the biggest medicine that you will ever have in this life. I'm telling you, like, if you don't work through your self worth and love yourself, you are going to be easy game. Okay. You're going to be an easy lick. Okay. You a sucker that's ready to be licked by the most fucked up person. Because if you feel like if you're stuck in that needing validation by any means necessary, you're going to get played every time, which is why like people that are famous, like if you listen to their stories, some of them are very insecure people or they were bullied or they just had really troubled lives. And fame, like that power, that sense of validation that gets from having anyone and everyone praise them, know who they are, to make themselves feel good about themselves. That's why you hear about people doing uncompromising things, doing things that are filthy, things that are detrimental to the soul, to the mind, like compromising themselves just to get some money, just to get some fame, just to have their name in lights, to have people, millions of people scream their name. You'll sell yourself for that. And that's a form of lack of self-worth, because we see the glam, we see the beauty, we see the attractiveness, we see the chains, we see the diamonds, we see the trips, we see, like, oh, they just look so beautiful, they look so happy, they're living the life. Strip all that shit down, and some of them are like the most broken motherfuckers ever. Just listen to them. Really look into their eyes too. If you don't have self-worth, like you're not based and rooted in loving yourself and like what's best for you and what's right for you and being treated fair, you'll sell yourself for anything just to be loved and to be seen and chosen. So when you meet those narcissistic, karmic, vampiric type of partners, cloaking themselves as like the one because they know what you desire. It's like I can read you, I can see your desperation, I can feel your want to be loved so bad. I'm going to exploit that shit. That's what it's given. So it's easy to fall for the fantasy of who they could be and not who they actually are. And especially if you've been taught to believe that you're not enough, or that it's everybody else before you. It's easy to excuse a lot of people's bullshit, you know? So this keeps you hooked through the potential and not the reality. Like I said, as a seer, if you have the gift of sight and prophecy, you can see the potential in a person. You can see who they could potentially be. You can look at all their good qualities, even pull it out of their worst qualities. You can pull the diamond rings out of a pile of shit and be like, oh, this right here, this part of them, I know that if they would just cultivate this, they would be this type of person. Oh, they have a good heart sometimes. I can see them being a person of great wisdom, a person that does this and that. But you're overlooking the fact that they're a pile of shit. They might got some things in there, but ultimately they're a pile of shit. And who's gonna clean the treasures that you pulled out of the shit? Who's gonna clean it? Probably you. They're not gonna do it. They're like, oh, that's shit. I'm not wiping that off. I'm not cleaning that. So you can see all this potential and all these things and all these gifts in them. But if they don't feel like it's worth like cultivating, they're not gonna do it. Like, another thing too with this, I just want to add this real quick, is that destiny swapping is a very real thing, and it's not just destiny swapping between like women being competitive against another woman, or jealousy. It can be with your own fucking so-called partner, where they can take the things, your gifts, your power, your energy, your ashe, to build themselves up. And it's not even them building themselves up. You helped with that. You assisted, you did the things that they weren't willing to do to build themselves up. So you have to be very careful of who you align yourself with. Yeah. Number 10, you're afraid to walk away. So you feel like something bad will happen if you leave this person. You may like have felt like you're made to be a part of like they're part of your identity almost, right? Or your purpose feels entangled with theirs. Like, if I leave this, I'm gonna leave a blessing behind. Whole time, like, there's no purpose, there's no divine union, there's nothing assigned to your connection. It's just like what you've placed on that, what you've assigned it in your own mind, or your desires, or through the potential of what you see this person being in relation to your energy, or whatever bullshit they fed you that they're not moving on, that they're not working through. Um, you may fear losing like the version of yourself that only exists in this connection. So it's like there's a feeling like it's almost like a mourning, like you're not just mourning the idea of this person, but you're also mourning the part of yourself that you believed yourself to be, or the part of yourself that when you first met or knew this person, it's like you have to let him or her go too, like that part of yourself go. um But yeah, like you're definitely take heed, because I feel like if you pay attention really to the past connections that you had that were not for you, there were always warning signs. And spirit usually, like I said, will come through with the dreams for me and show me things about people. And it's always been like I've never been wrong on this. Like when spirit has shown me something about a person that's off. I remember I had a dream about my child's father and this so-called friend that I had at the time. And they were both like doing some sneaky shit behind my back. Like they don't know each other in real life. Like they've never met. But just like in the dream, they were like ops in the dream. And this person was wearing like a wig in the dream. Um, I just got like this very deceptive energy from it. And then I'll never forget pulling this one card out of a deck that I had, and it was like this. It had a person on it with a knife, and I can't remember. I think it was like a deception card or something like that. And it looked dead on like this girl. And not only that, it looked like a picture that she had on her social media. And I was like, if God ain't speaking no more clear than this, I don't know what. Because I'm too logical sometimes. Like being a spiritual person or being like a seer and things like that, I still have those moments where I have to be really like grounded and shit. Like I don't want to get carried away with things. And so I have to like fact check it. And for that to come out like the way that it did, it was like, bitch, there's no mistaking. Like if you still gaslighting and still tripping, like thinking that you're being like overly emotional, or you're being too hard on someone, or you're reading too much into things, like bitch, like you better take heed. So many experiences that I can tell you like how like the warning signs have been there. Like the come through with the come through, God. Like break through the illusion, because like if I'm walking in a path that I should not be, let me know. And I've seen like in dreams like to step away, you know. All right, so let's get into the reading, shall we? Because I know y'all been waiting. Um, so this, like I said, this is going to be a reading. If this is divine partnership, or is this like a counterfeit? Is this a false connection? And some of these points may resonate with some of you, and some might be a message for someone else. So you kind of have to just discern like what messages speak to you in your situation with an open mind and open heart, because there's a possibility that it may shatter an idea or belief or an illusion of something. So just be prepared, because we don't mince anything over here. I have to tell it like it is. If I'm going to be a messenger, I'm going to give it to you straight. Okay. Try to give you a little chaser, like ease it in there so it's not too harsh. But nonetheless, we're gonna drink that shit, okay? Straight. So who is this person energetically to you? Like what is this person's core role or purpose within your life? Is it something that's divine? Is it karmic? Is it deceptive? Like what's up with it? Spirit, for this collective, I ask for divine clarity and truth. I ask for divine protection to surround us. We cast down all vain imaginations, any high thing that tries to exalt itself against the knowledge and true wisdom of you, Source God. Our ancestors and guides who lovingly guide us and assist us, may they work collectively together to provide the wisdom, the messages, the insights to come through to those who are meant to receive it in any space and time that they're meant to receive this message. Amen and ashe. Okay. Five of Swords, Page of Wands. Whoever the person is that you have on your mind for this reading or in your heart, I feel like this is a karmic connection. I feel like this is someone that spirit is someone that you either cut off, or you're going to cut off, or you know that you need to cut off, and there might be more than one person that you're cutting off as um maybe not connected to this person, but like in this season that you're in, because the Page of Wands tells me like you're about to embark in a new path in a way that feels like you're curious and not 100% sure yet. You're not fully disconnected from your past, but you're open-minded to moving away from your past. And I feel like there's at least two people that you cut off, and this person is included in that, or they're going to be one of the people that you cut off, because I feel like you're going to cut ties with people and move forward So this energy does feel karmic to me in a sense. Like this is not a divine partnership. This is someone that um may have betrayed you, or may just be more so of like a hurtful source of energy than they are helpful or loving or supportive of you. It's like they harm you more than they contribute anything positive, if that makes sense. Um, Being yourself, confident, loud, proud, hitting the right note, harmonious concert, showing off. So your light might be too much for people that are not for you, obviously. Like if this person is intimidated by you being your authentic self, or they've said things about you, or try to dim your light, or say things like you're too much, or you're childish. Um, yeah, this is time for you to treat yourself. You have the mall crawl. It says on the hunt, retail therapy, meeting at the mall, pleasant surprise, a happy find. You could have met this person at the mall literally, or while you were out shopping. This person may like to like shop a lot. They might be a shopaholic, right? Um, they might be a little bit materialistic. Someone could be a musician. You could be a musician. This person could be a musician. You have a free spirited vibe to you, and your energy might be like what they would say is like outside of the box, not something that they can control or put a name on it. Life goals, be sure your life goals, lifestyle are congruent with your partners, grow together or grow apart. So this could be one of those connections where you guys don't share the same life goals, and that's a big tell sign of like whether it's a divine connection or not. You guys are not on the same wavelength with some sort of goals that you have. Okay, I'm gonna leave the tarot cards out in the circle. Okay, whoa, this card flew out of the circle. Why? This could be like the lesson about you following your truth and your passions, not allowing somebody to take you off course. Your creativity is a big thing. Like you're a very creative person. You're someone that maybe is like really eccentric and outside of the box. Yeah, Fool card has that Uranus energy. This person was meant to kind of take you out of your kind of like this meek and quiet and shy energy that you grown, like you, that's not your true nature. It's almost like you were kind of groomed to be that way, or like were taught very young that you were too much, or this person kind of met you at a time where you weren't totally sure about yourself or fully confident in something about yourself. And they helped kind of push that out of you in some kind of way. Let's see what their purpose was. Let's clear. I'm going to use this oracle deck. This deck has been calling my name for like a week, and I was just like staring at it because I haven't used it in a long time. You have the sun in Sagittarius with adventure, stride out into a new territory. Exactly. So the purpose of this was to get you out of a fixed energy and like cloaking yourself in your gifts and like keeping you stuck and complacent. Um, Hey sis, how are you? Yeah, so it's like this person helped you in some sort of way to take you out of this kind of scared to play, to put yourself out there, to be bold, to be yourself. It's like they encouraged this. So they inspired it. Like there's something about this person's energy that may come off as bigger than life, or they have um some level of maybe like popularity or something like that. They could be a Sag, you could be a Sag. Well-traveled energy, leveling up. Yeah, this connection was meant to help you level up within yourself. It says you deserve the best, major improvement, doing your inner work, dealing with past hurt. So, yeah, that's the true lesson of this connection, what you were meant to learn through this. So this was like helping you, regardless of if it was meant, if it was too harsh or too heavy, or it didn't work out. It was meant to bring you to this greater place within yourself, to not play small, to break yourself out of the chains. And the fact that you have the number 9 card, number 9, we're in the year of the 9. So this is an end, and there's 9 viewers right now as I'm looking at the viewer count. So number 9 is that completion energy, and it could also speak of the humanitarian inside of you. Like you have a purpose and a calling that, yes, you are meant to show up for others, but showing up for others is like you showing up for yourself and being your full self, because the right people will see that beacon of light and be drawn to that light, because it's like an organic light. It's not one where it's dimmed a little bit, where it's like I have to cloak because I'm unsure, I'm not enough, or maybe I'm too much. But it's like, no, the right amount of energy, to see, to move towards. So let's see if this person was like supporting or delaying your mission, whether that was consciously or subconsciously. Was this person, were they supportive or delaying your mission? These cards is not playing. I feel like deep down, this person wants to see you succeed or see you win. You guys might have trauma bonded at a time where you both were like down and out, or just didn't feel good about yourselves. But deep down, I feel like this person is more so of a supporter than not. So they may have not actively supported you or outwardly, out loud supported you, but like this could be like a silent prayer or wish for you, or just like they wanted to see you get outside of your box. They want to see you be more than who you are and what you are. So that's a good thing. I feel like this person is they are a support. They are an ally. Um like I said, they were always meant to, like, their energy was meant to take you out of this lack energy or lack mentality, or feeling a lack of self-worth and not feeling good enough or feeling abandoned, misunderstood, into like sovereignty with the Emperor. Let's clarify. Is this person a support or a delay to the mission? Free will, eclipse in Pisces. It says serve your highest purpose. So they were a supportive energy. And Pisces is a dreamer energy, but it can be like a psychic energy. So maybe this person could see like your potential. And like if you were to just like, it was up to you, like they're not going to intervene and tell you who you need to be per se, but it's more so of like, I want you to win, like whatever you decide, whatever you choose, like I could see your potential. This person may have felt like there's something that you needed to eclipse out of your life, and maybe it was them, or like a vision that you have of yourself that is not in alignment with your highest purpose. Like this person can be intuitive as well, okay, have psychic abilities, if you will. All right, so I'm going to ask a question very specifically, like, how do you feel in their presence versus in their absence? So let's see, how does the collective feel about the person that they have on their heart and their mind, like in the person's presence? How do they feel about the absence, or when they're in absence of this person? How do they feel? How do they feel? Okay, it's weird because I almost want to say like you don't feel too much different when you're in their presence and in absence. Let's see. In their presence, you have the Tower. In their absence, you have the Three of Wands. So this energy that like when you're in their presence, you might feel very ungrounded. You might feel very overwhelmed. You may feel like this person is seeing you and you feel like you're seeing them. This person could be mirroring you, like you guys may like feel very intense around each other. You feel a lot of tension, or you don't feel like you could stand in the energy for too long, because I'm not getting like, oh, I can't stand you, I hate you type of tension. It's more so not even sexual. It's like, oh shit, this person can see me. Can they tell? Like, can they see like my thoughts, my into my heart? Like, are they picking up on me? It's like you feel exposed, and they may feel exposed in your energy. It's very overwhelming to this person and overwhelming to you. You may have a lot of butterflies around this person. You may feel a lot of psychic chills. You just feel like uncomfortable, like I got to get out of this. Like you want to run. It feels too intense. Same thing with this person. It feels very intense in your presence. when you're not together, it's like you anticipate like what's on the other side of this. It's like you want to know, it makes you more intrigued to understand what you're experiencing. It's like you don't want to feel that all the time, but it's like at the same time you do, or you just want to understand what you're experiencing. That makes sense. So it's like you anticipate this. It's like, okay, when I'm more in a balanced state and I'm not directly in this person's presence or in their energy and they're not in mine, I can kind of like sift through it, or at least I feel like I can. Does that make sense? I'm gonna use like a romance oracle deck real quick. Let me see. What is this energy? How the collective feels in this person's presence versus their absence. What's this energy? You have both sides have teeth. A difficult decision has been put off, but a choice needs to be made. Then you have, we do our best with what we know in the moment. Don't judge yourself harshly for the moments that you gave, um, or for the moments that gave us our wisdom. So again, when you're in this person's presence, it feels very intense. And this adds a little bit more of a layer to it with the decisions card, because when you're in their presence, you feel like there has to be a decision made. Like there needs to be some bullshit cut through. Like we just need to cut to the chase. We need to get the clarity. Like no more teetering back and forth. No more being like thrown up in the air, confused. And then when you're in their absence, when they're not in your presence, it's this feeling of like, okay, I've experienced something, it's heavy, but you're not judging yourself. You're just trying to understand the wisdom of the situation. You're trying to gather it, you're trying to get more clarity. So when you're not around them, you have a better ground than you would when you're in their presence, if that makes sense. Okay, so all right, we're gonna cut to the chase. We're going to ask that big question. If this person is your divine partner or counterfeit. So this is a general read. I have to like advise that because some people take these collective reads a little too personal. If it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't. Don't force it. And what that means is like it might be something light and fluffy that is not for you. It might be something that's triggering that is for you. So it's like you got to kind of discern, because if you only place things in the feel good box of, oh, that's for me because this is what I want and this is what I desire, so it must be true, or I don't want this, I don't want to experience that, so that's not true. Like at that point you're lying to yourself, and then that, you're doing yourself a disservice. Like that's not cool. So I mean, it could be that it says yes, but I want you still to do your research and your discernment within your own being and your own spirit, and be honest, because it's very serious to the soul that you align with the right person for you. It's not good for the soul to lie and place someone in a position of being your divine partner when they are not. If you stuck around when went over like the karmic connections versus the divine connections, and how detrimental it is to follow the path of a false connection and not be your authentic self in love. Like it's not going to serve you in life, not just romantically, but like with other deeper connections, divine opportunities and blessings for you. You'll block those things by walking a path that is not for you. Okay, so let's tap in. The person on your heart and your mind, is this person your divine partner or are they a counterfeit? Spirit. Okay. So no, this person is not your divine counterpart. You got the 8 of Cups. And I don't feel like you're too pressed on like the answer, because I feel like majority of you know that already. You know this. Because I don't feel like a deep sorrow. It's like you're already walked away from it, or you're starting to emotionally detach with the 8 of Cups. And I feel like there's a part of you that feels like stronger because of this connection or this experience with this person. I feel like you are looking to fall in love with your own life. You're looking for freedom and peace in your journey, but you just might be kind of afraid and not sure what that looks like or how to get to that point. But this person is not your divine counterpart. No. Um this person was like I wouldn't say they're a counterfeit even, because I don't get demonic, like dark energy from them. I just get like a person that's just not meant, they were meant to be a catalyst, or like someone to usher you into a new place within yourself. They were just assisting you on your journey. There's karmic ties here, teasing, flirtations, having a crush, playing, having fun. Y'all could be asking about a crush, someone that you don't really have too many deep ties to. You're just wondering, like, why does this crush feel so deep, though? Yeah, you guys might have just kicking it, like having fun. But this is you also releasing and letting go of certain patterns, and knowing that it requires you to show up and be a team player, be disciplined, sleep on it. Think before you speak. Yeah, get rest, don't sabotage, call it a day, need a break, sleep deprived. Yeah, this isn't like an invitation either for you to jump into a relationship with someone else, or just like start looking like, well, who is my like, it's not an invitation to do that, because it's like, process where you're at right now. Like, that is enough. That is all that's required of you, and like, you do have other things ahead of you to look forward to, you know. Um So let's ask, like, what exactly might you need to heal or release in order to align with your divine counterpart, like whoever your true divine counterpart is? Like, what is it that is needing to be healed? Let's see. What exactly, spirit, is needing to either be healed or released to align with their divine counterpart? So you have the third eye chakra. You have to learn to trust yourself more, because you are spiritually in tune. I feel like you guys are, for those of you that are aligned with this message, you are spiritually gifted. You have a very powerful gift of sight. So like, however you channel and download messages and the visions, um, you are pretty gifted in that. Like, it's just a matter of you trusting your gift. So it says, be mindful of how you speak over yourself. Your inner child deserves more love and grace. So what you say over yourself is something that spirit is also wanting you to work on. Like, if you still talk crazy to yourself, talk down to yourself, beat yourself up, it's like, think of yourself as that innocent child, like, that deserved the love that maybe you didn't get, or what you feel like as an adult you're not getting, and to give that to yourself and be kinder to that part of you that's still, it's you. So like, if you're saying, oh, you're so stupid, or you're this and that, like, you're speaking to that inner child, and it might be things that have been echoed in your childhood that you heard that you say to yourself. So catch yourself on that, and revert to a place of love. Give yourself that compassion, that patience, that grace that you deserve. And then you have the small shreds left behind. I can't see this. The small shards left behind in our hearts when someone wounds us, tend to your heart and heal. So it's still pretty touchy. There's still like a pain there. It's a touchy energy when it comes to like what has happened to you, and not just with the person maybe that you had in your mind for this reading, but just over time, like the pain that's there. Like, you might be finally starting to pull out those shards, the things that you thought that like when you cut yourself, like, let's say you step on a piece of glass and you thought you got all the pieces up, you thought you swept everything up, you thought you got it all out, and then it's like you still feel something poking, or you still feel something on the ground. It's like there's still remnants of things maybe that you're cleaning, but it's not big things, but it's still like, it still needs to be fully swept away. You know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense with that idea, that example. But let's see, like, what are some clues or some signs of like a divine partner for you? Like, what this feels like, looks like, maybe how will it arrive? I might do a part 2 on this, because I want to go a little bit deeper into the divine union energies. Because I don't want to do too much, because this is already long as it is. Two of Wands. It might not be along. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. And then the devil card is here, of course. Once you phase out of these toxic dynamics, it's like your person's right there. I don't feel like your person is, it's going to take too long for you to find them. Your person might feel like an invitation for you. Yeah, you're going to, I'm telling you, your person, your divine counterpart might feel like an invitation for you to step into a new journey. Like it might seem tempting, might be a little scary, but your intuition is going to be like, nah, this feels right to me. And that's like when you're like simultaneously like closing out a cycle but also moving into a new cycle or a new chapter, I should say, like right in the moment, and it's divinely on time. And I feel like it's because you've also gotten to a place where you have discerned what a false connection is, and like you've moved past that, or you've made that decision that you're going to move past it. Let's see what else. Spirit. The Magician. Yeah, it's like you believe in your dream. The Ten of Cups, as you and your partner, like you believe in that dream vision that you have for your love life. Like you actually believe that you can have it now, because you've let go of the falseness, the false connections where like you might have programmed yourself to believe, or like you've been programmed through your dating experiences or your life, that it was told that you have to settle for certain things, or that you had to put up with this or that, or you had to be someone else to be loved, or you have to earn love. You got to perform, you got to do this, um, dress like this, talk like this, be like this, settle for this, wait around for this is how it goes. You you've unprogrammed yourself from that. Like you've taken yourself out of those ideologies. Yeah, you've taken yourself out of those ideologies. You don't exist in those realms anymore, those spaces. So it's easy for you to see clearly like what it is that you really want and what you really deserve, and know that it's feasible, that you're deserving of it, that it's going to happen, that it can happen for you. And because you believe it, because you might have wanted it, you might have desired it, but to believe or to see it in your vision, in your mind, and like know that it's something that you can actually have is one thing. Because when you don't believe that you can have something, you're going to settle for like, oh, this is just, it's good enough. But if you know that what you really deserve and desire exists out there, that's where the power comes in, because it's like, oh, it's just a matter of time. Like I can have that. That's going to happen for me. It's going to manifest. Yeah. So Four of Pentacles, you're going to preserve your energy more. I don't see you giving yourself away excessively to people, and not just romantically, but like anything or anyone that is not healthy for you, where it's a compromisation of like your worth or your value or like your wellness. Like you're not going to compromise that. You're not going to do that anymore. Because again, your person, your Ten of Cups energy is with someone that has been through some shit too. So it's going to be a blessing when the two of you come together, because it's like we didn't just come, this place is just, it just didn't happen overnight. It's been a journey, so you appreciate the blessing even more because of the journey. Okay, let's get some advice. New love. Yeah, so this is somebody new. This is not somebody that you've been doing a dance with back and forth. It's just, it's not that. It's not giving that energy. The card says, my beautiful child, I am very happy for you, as I see you are soon encountering a new love. My son, Amor, is going to strike his arrow soon. Be prepared for the butterflies in your stomach. So this is going to hit you on a soul level, this connection. It's not going to be like those ones that take you out of, like, you're ungrounded and you're obsessed and you're just like, oh my God. It's going to be like your soul is going to feel it. It's going to know like, oh yeah, this is something. If not, this is my one. It's like, it's going to be, this is something significant. This is something worth exploring. That's the energy that it gives. So yeah, that's the reading. I didn't expect to spend too much time breaking down that, but I feel like I needed to do that. I guess we can look at it as an entry point type of reading, but I am going to um return to this topic um in another way. Like we're just going to explore some different things, And I might make this reading available, like the divine counterpart part versus counterfeit reading available on my website to book, like as one of my services. So I'll let you guys know if I do that, but I will return to this topic again soon and like go a little bit deeper into the divine counterpart now that we've kind of swift through the like what it is and what it's not type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so whoever you had on your mind, fortunately, maybe it might feel unfortunately for some of you, but that person is not your one. But good thing is that they're not giving me like dark, toxic, counterfeit vibes. It just feels like a connection that's not for you, there might be some toxic ways, there might be some patterns, there might be, those heavy karmic energies there, but it's not someone that's out to get you, trying to take from you, steal your energy type of vibe, cloak themselves to be somebody that's for you when they're really not. It just seems like this was a connection that never got off the ground, never went too far. It might have been just like a crush or a love interest, someone that you had some sort of platonic energy with at the same time, maybe like a love interest or felt a pull or felt something might have been there. You know what I mean? So I'm going to leave it at that, you guys. If this message as an entirety, down to the breaking it down or parts of it, including the reading, resonated, sure to show some love, you guys. Okay. I appreciate you. Be blessed, be safe, take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.